The most serious relationship I have ever been in ended about 2 weeks ago. And I'm reflecting on how the process of a breakup is a lot like the process of going into and then getting out of prison. Because that initial life change, that place of going from a place of security and normalcy to something absolutely new and scary and painful and ugly is profound. I mean, I watched guys come into the jail and just break down and sob. And at the end of the breakup, I broke down and sobbed. There were plenty of days that I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't know what I was doing. It was just such an ugly thing. And then there's this kind of like slow transition where like there's a ray of light, right? Like you wake up and you're miserable and you're sad, but there's a ray of light or a ray of normalcy, or I managed to accomplish some things that day and it feels okay, or it feels like, okay, I did that. And the sadness is still there. It doesn't just go away, but it becomes less of the whole picture, right? It's not so big that it's taking up everything or taking up all the air in the room. And I go through that, and that to me is kind of like the normalcy of being locked up. Like eventually it gets to be the thing that you know, or the thing you're comfortable with. Like I spent half of my life in prison. I knew that far more than I knew anything else. And that I think is actually where I'm at now, where I still feel the pain, but I'm moving forward. I'm getting used to it. Like this is the new normal. This is okay. But then there's this process, right? Like when you get out of prison, it's terrifying. I was so excited to get out, but I was in shock. I was numb. I didn't know how I was going to do anything. I was overwhelmed by the smallest things. I was overwhelmed by social situations. I was just, as much as I had tried to prepare, as much as I had read, as much as I'd been in therapy, as much as I studied, spending half your life in prison is going to change the way you process the world. And I didn't know what to do. And I think that's what I'm looking at now. Because when a relationship over, that means new doors are open, right? There are things in the future. And those things can be exciting and those things can be good. I just don't quite feel that yet. I'm still in that kind of shock stage of, okay, grieving for what's lost and getting used to what this is. But recognizing that going into being single for the first time in my adult life is scary. I mean, it's exciting, it's uncomfortable, I think it's a lot of things. And a big part of this kind of quest for me is trying to figure out who I am. Because I realize that I have never been alone in the world. Like I've never been alone as an adult experiencing life and figuring out things and figuring out what I want. And I have some codependent patterns and I have some issues that have come up. And that was an issue in the relationship. And it wasn't anybody else's fault. It wasn't her fault. It was my stuff. And recognizing that and trying to process and figure out who I want to be and what do I like and what do I want to do? Like I can do anything I want tonight. I can go anywhere. I can see anybody. I can, get in my car and drive. And there's something really liberating about that. But again, it doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel known. And I recognize that I have to get used to being uncomfortable because all new things are going to be uncomfortable. But I'm trying to process that and I'm trying to figure out how to make the best of it and be alive and be engaged with the world and go out. And so I've been trying to go hiking more. I've been trying to go out and see friends more. I've been trying to go do things that I know are life-giving because I know, especially in a breakup or especially with people getting out of prison, there can be this period of just self-destruction, this period of making bad decisions, this period of doing all those things. And I don't want that. I don't want to fall backwards. I want to move forwards. I want to grow. And I want that for everybody. I want that for the person that I'm no longer with. I want that for the people in my life that I can support in any kind of way. Because there's this force that's like pulling us back, this old habit force that just wants us to regress, wants to pull us back to what's known or comfortable, wants to pull us back to the trauma. And I don't want to give in to that because that's not how I want to live. So as I'm experiencing this and trying to live intentionally every day and start with meditation and start with, something helpful. Today I got up, I cleaned, I did laundry, I'm running the dishwasher, like doing the things that I know are small, but those little pieces are what make the new life, right? Like life isn't made up of one big choice. You make one big choice and then everything's different. No, like, yeah, you can go to prison, but the quality of your life, like who you are, is made up by these little choices you make every day, by these habits that you build. I mean, I think it was like Aristotle said, excellence is not a quality, but a habit. And that just really stuck with me because it is like what we do and how we choose to live. It's about the small things that we do every day and not just the big things. So today I'm trying to do the small things. Today I'm trying to live intentionally. Today I'm trying to be kind and try to be connected. And I'm just doing the best I can.